Hello, this is Jer. I'm playing Oxygen Not Included. I'm working on getting all achievements in this game. However, I'm taking it aside for a moment to talk about food storage in space. I want to be able to store food in a spaceship in a sterile and frozen temperature so it will never go bad. The food will be produced and frozen on base. However, once loaded into the spaceship, it will never thaw. At least, that is the plan. Start with a spaceship that has no gas in it, so complete vacuum. I built 2 airflow tiles in the corner and put a ration box on top. Notice that I've got some liquid on the tile to the left of the ration box, brine in this case. This will be used to allow dupes to access the ration box while keeping the vacuum in the ration box. So a vacuum is considered a sterile environment. Just a quick note, I let the dupes use the manual generator before gas started to fill the spaceship. This led to the battery taking damage, so I'll destroy that and rebuild it once I allow gas to enter the spaceship. Explorer is just about to drop off some barbecue in the ration box, but they drop it in front of the ration box as they go on break. Damn it! I will have to put this in a ration box in a base in a cold zone so it freezes again, because as it's sitting there, the temperature starts to rise pretty rapidly, and that's not going to be frozen. To my surprise, one of the dupes actually manages to get it in the ration box before it goes into the unfrozen state, so I won't have to do that. It's now time to seal up the ration box so that I can fill oxygen inside the spaceship and not have oxygen go inside the ration box container. That's going to stay as a vacuum in a sterile environment. So there you have it. I've got food inside this ration box. Barbecue meat is -40, so it's definitely frozen. That area is a vacuum while the rest of the base has oxygen in it. So it's going to last forever. Amazing. So everything was looking good, but one of the things that can go wrong is one of the dupes can top up the ration box with meat that's not frozen. That will eventually rot, and that will lead to polluted oxygen inside that area, so we don't have a sterile environment. And that also, because it's no longer a vacuum, the temperature of the meat or any other food is going to start to go up over time, matching that of the base. So that's not good. I want to get rid of that rot pile as soon as possible, so I'm sweeping it at a really high priority and dumping it anywhere in my base, because I don't want it to start to leak polluted oxygen. In addition to that rot pile, some of the barbecue that has not turned into a rot pile is not freezing, so I've got to take that out of that zone. Otherwise, it's ultimately going to turn to a rot pile if it's not consumed. And I'm going to put that in a ration box in a really cold place to cool it back down. The speed at which the edible food cools off, I'm going to put some metal tiles underneath this ration box. Yeah, I was really hoping this wouldn't happen, but some polluted oxygen found its way inside the ration box. So, fortunately, it's not too difficult to handle this. Basically, I'm going to take all the food out, store that in a cold zone, as well as the polluted dirt, obviously. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to fill in the whole area with tiles, starting in with the corner and destroying a tile when it's got trapped between 2 tiles to create a vacuum underneath. And then reconstructing the airflow tiles, and then finally, when I have the whole thing together, putting the ration box in. And the dupes can construct a ration box from the other side of the wall, so that is really good. And now I'm going to have a technique for making sure your food that you put in there is in fact frozen, like what's happening now. So I'm changing the settings of the ration box this time to be sweep only, specifying that I want it to be barbecue. And now what I can do is I can go around the base and choose location of frozen meat and sweep that meat. That way the dupes are specifically going to source their meat from here rather than pick up meat that potentially fell down from somewhere else and is warm, because I really do not want anything that's not frozen to go in here, because it'll ultimately turn into a rot pile and this whole process will have to be rebuilt again. Just before I go, I'm going to say 2 things. First of all, I'm putting in a carbon skimmer here. I have a little bit of automation to help with the machine that I'm using here, but it's far more important I put in a carbon skimmer to get rid of the carbon dioxide in this ship. The other thing that I want to mention around the food is you can store more than the actual amount of food in the ration box. All you need to do is get your dupes to fill up the ration box remove all the food from it. So do that by unclicking the item and re-clicking the edible items you want to be stored. And because it's set to have only store food that's swept, dupes won't put the food that has been dropped on the ground underneath the ration box. They'll rather go look for food in the base that's swept. Again, make sure that the food in the base that's swept is frozen, because you want to make sure it is frozen when it gets in there. All right, that's going to do for this episode. I hope to see you in another one where I continue on making progress to my getting all my achievements and oxygen not included. Hope to see you then.